I made a rookie mistake.
I've never done that.
It's gonna happen. I made a rookie mistake. Probably hard to see. All this darkness is it's gas. Because I got distracted. I forgot to screw the gas on. So Justin's having a good time with it. It's my first day out here. Anyway, this is the cedar post I'm working on to that Navy veteran. And so what I started to do was just remove some of the bark off the tree here and get down to the wood of it, see how everything's gonna lay out and where I want the Navy design and all that stuff to go. So I don't have a fancy way of doing this. So much bark. I felt like it was growing as I was taking it off. So, holy cow. It took a little longer than expected. And I know there's tools and all kinds of stuff to take bark off, but you know what we got? We got a knife and a little bit of time. So, I wanted to kind of explain why I'm doing this. Two reasons. We're carving the rope into the log plus the logo. Another one, cedar grows so funky, and sometimes that bark will hide convolutions in the wood, and so I'm looking to kind of expose any of that stuff. Sometimes they're a little deeper than what they look like on the outside, but this log seems to be pretty good. So I took the bark off. Right now what I'm waiting for is I'm gonna let this kind of sit overnight, and I might hit it with a torch here in a minute or tomorrow, we'll see. And the reason I'm doing that is because of two reasons. One, it's going to get rid of all these fuzzies and give me a nice clean canvas to work off of. But two, I don't know if you've ever taken bark off a tree and there's like this slimy material that's in between. Well, that's called phloem. There's a scientific name for it, but the common enunciation is called phloem. And what that process is the tree's process of turning into more tree or more bark. So that's how it's growing. When you take that bark off, cedar especially where it's so stringy, it'll leave a really slimy kind of material behind it. And what you can do, I did this to show y'all, if you don't burn that off or let it air dry, or if it's on a well-seasoned tree, you can grind it, but you're going to ruin your grinding pad instantly. Yeah, it's going to gum it up, and you're not going to get it off all the way. I hit this with a grinder real quick just to show you guys, but even like this little piece right here, all this stuff will destroy your grinding pad. And so I'm going to, like I said, let this sit for a little bit longer, and then I might hit it with El Torcha, and that way I can get my design on there and give me a nice clean canvas. So that's what we're working with. This is part of the process, and yeah, we'll keep on keeping on with this. I was videoing me, so turn your video and me videoing you videoing each other. Whoa. Is this the Matrix? Is this how we get to learn yet? Alright, so my thought process behind this is I'm going to take the grinder, smooth all this out, and I think it'll just give me a little bit more level surface to where when I lay out the logo, it'll be a little bit easier to lay out. So lay out like 6 times. So essentially I just took the chainsaw and just went over it a bunch of times, kind of used it like a planer. And so I'm gonna grind it, kind of smooth it out. And let's do that. Alright, so I'm doing everything off my phone. I don't know if I said this earlier or not, but my GoPro SD card got outdated. A little sawdust. Got a little outdated, so, and it's actually a lot easier to edit and do all this stuff on my phone here. So this is where we're at. I got everything sanded down, and what I did is I actually printed out the logo here. I had to crop it, move a couple things, so this is actually just 2 pieces of computer paper with the logo. Oh man, it's starting to rain. It's supposed to rain until tomorrow. Let me get this moved inside. Hey. Oh. Okay. Wow. That log is way heavier than it needs to be. Wow. It's pretty fresh too, so it's. Whew. Catch my breath. Well, let's see if I can bend over and do this. Yeah. I'm gonna lean over like this. So, here's my next step. I got the log sanded down. And, like I said, I got my template laid out. Or printed out anywhere. And the log we're gonna cut at 106 inches total. But they're gonna trim it down to get it up in the post there. And so I just kind of made the average. I think I did like 52 or 53 being the center point. So once the anchor kicked off to the side, so the anchor will be positioned similar to like this, and then the US end to be straight up and down. And so as I'm thinking about this, I think I'm gonna go ahead and get the anchor laid out where I want it to be. And then from there, because I know the US end is going to be my highest point, the anchor is going to be pushed in behind it, and chain even pushed down a little bit behind it. So we will kick it a little crazy. Yeah. I think that'll be fun. It's kind of wanting to lay that way anyway. And so that was the reason behind kind of flattening this out a little bit. And what I'm going to do is, in this negative spacing all behind this, I'm going to dig it past there a little bit, add a little shadowing, a little either black or burning, and that'll pop that out even further, give it a little depth. And then of course we got the rope that's going to be wrapped around it. So this log is huge, obviously. Well, not huge, but it's big for a post. But I did that on purpose because it's cool. I did that on purpose because I figured to give the rope, I'd be able to give it some action. So some spots might stick off the post a little bit, you know, digging behind it. Some might be in it. And then the goal is to use all this fat wood. This white is fat wood, the red and cedars, or the heartwood is the red. If I can use that white as much as possible for the rope, and then it'll naturally have that contrast of the red behind it. So I got this piece specifically cut for this job. It wasn't one that I had laying around, but I think it's gonna work out good. So yeah, there's my little center line there. But I think that's gonna be pretty ideal. You know, it's kind of middle of the log, so it'll be almost eye level. it'll definitely be noticeable. It'll be pretty close to eye level. I mean, I'm not super tall, so for me it'll be eye level, but yeah, let's run that. And so I just do this very old school. I have carbon tracing paper. And in my pocket. So I just take these little push pins. That helps me just secure the paper. Onto the log. Because we're going to physically trace every line and everything on here. And so that'll keep it nice and secure. And we'll stay consistent. And now that I'm looking at this, I want to move it over just a little bit further. Just a little bit further. Yeah, and the idea of this is, do we go super dramatic at the angle, or just enough? I think we're gonna choose the latter. So let me grab a pen. And again, this is pretty much how I do all my welcome signs, my stenciling, especially something this specific. I mean, to sit here and draw all this out, it's not for me. I'm not a great drawer, which is weird, but I can carve. But this is going to give me a nice template. The proportions are going to be right, and it's the exact Navy logo. So you definitely want to be keen on the attention to detail with everything, and it's really what's going to turn this piece into a cool piece and into a true art piece. So it's when you add all this little attention to details, it keeps adding to the piece and makes it more complete. So yeah. So I was trying to figure out what the best way to do this would be. And I've been thinking about this piece for a little while. So this log's a little wet, so you might be able to faintly see where the outline is and everything. I'll have to come back with a pen to make everything darker. And I'm actually kind of okay with that. And the reason being is because we have to put that lettering, the USN. We want that straight up and down. Or not straight up and down, horizontal. Alright, so I got everything pretty much laid out the way I want it to be. Again, we're kind of manipulating the logo a little bit. So there'll be a little freestyling, I guess you could say. All I'm doing right now is just kind of where we traced everything over. I'm just kind of solidifying my lines and everything. Alright, so this is gonna be the layout for the logo. I think everything flowed really nicely. Everything seems to be laid out pretty good. And I'm pretty happy with that. So this is gonna be our highest point here, a little bit lower and a little bit lower, and then down behind here we're gonna dig this out and give it some depth. And so that'll actually help when we get the rope. I'll try to see if I can, when I get the rope wrapped around, kind of tuck it in so this stands out even more when I carve the rope wrapped around it. So that's where we're at with it right now. Alright, so it's getting towards the end of the day. It's about 8:30, 9 o'clock. Just got done eating some dinner at a little Italian place up the road. And I figured I'd just run this chisel around real quick. I don't plan on chiseling this whole thing by any means, but I really want to just get the outline set in. And that way when I'm going to come in with a Dremel with a pretty aggressive bit and push all this back. And most of my work gets done later in the afternoon and super early in the morning. And so it's nice to kind of just wake up here and go get my coffee and chill, because during the day it is non-stop between emails, phone calls, messages, people walking up saying hi, old customers, new friends, old friends. Sometimes I feel like like a politician, you know, just kissing hands and shaking babies. And then at night is when I get to really have some me time. So I think that's what I decided I'm going to do, is do a couple part series of this. We'll work on this for a little while tonight. And essentially what I was doing with the Dremel, we'll go around the whole thing, dig all this out, and then tomorrow we'll work on the rope. So like I said from the beginning, this is going to be our high points here. I'm gonna push this a layer down, and then behind it even deeper, so this will all stand up pretty beautifully. I mean, that's been my day, my time working on this piece. There's a lot going on today, and man, we got some cool stuff. Some really cool stuff. You know, every day is such a blessing to be able to do this, and in my own little world here, you know, everything else kind of disappears, and I hope you guys can kind of use this as an outlet, and hopefully it's inspiring. And obviously I'm doing a little more effort to include you guys. It's a lot easier on my phone, and I think I'm just gonna do that when I get to like the carving parts. I'll get the GoPro set up, but like this, it's way easier on the phone just to edit everything. It's so simple versus the computer program. And so yeah, so this is part of progress. I feel like we've come a long way and made a decent amount of progress on it. I'm pretty happy so far. Tomorrow, the plan, we will flat cut the bottom of it, and then I'm going to go ahead and start laying out my rope. Yeah, that's going to be the plan for tomorrow. Today's Tuesday. My plan's by Friday to get this done, and I think I told them this week would be done. But my plan is to have everything done by Friday, so everything just kind of fit where it's supposed to be. And I'll spin a few tanks tomorrow on the chainsaw, and then be able to add all the detail and stuff to the rope. Burn it. I'm not gonna paint it, I don't think. Might add a little stain. It's to be determined. But yeah, it's a pretty piece of wood, and hope you guys enjoyed some of this, and look for part 2. I don't know if I'm gonna be doing a video every single day. But I might do that. I have a bunch of custom orders, so I think what I'm gonna do, what I decided to do was include you guys in the custom order part of stuff. Yeah, so we got this order. I don't even know. I'll have to go in the morning, look at everything. So he picked up a few orders today. Couple orders today. Thank y'all. Hope you enjoyed the last video. Hope you guys enjoyed this one a little more. Finally, some carving. I was joking with Justin earlier, and I was like, man, I got this chainsaw carving channel, and hadn't done a lot of chainsaw carving on it, but we'll change that. So thank y'all. I love y'all. I am going to work on this for a little bit longer, and I'll touch back tomorrow. I appreciate you joining me on this journey, changing the world one piece at a time. God bless, and until next time. Side note, I wanted to say hey to some very old friends, family really. They've known me since I was a baby. But the Evans, thank you guys for watching this. I appreciate the comments and the messages, and I hope y'all are doing good. It's been a long time, and it's really cool to hear from y'all. But like I said, I hope you guys are doing good. Miss y'all, and if you're ever in Tennessee, stop by and say hi, or give me a holler sometime. We'll catch up. So again, just want to say good night. Thank y'all, love y'all, and I'll talk to you soon.